morning, John Jacob Curie. We're coming to you live from the Nerve Center of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, where we are at the auditorium, where, as you've said, you're able to see a lot of activities going on here at the auditorium, where we have seen a number of agents representing different political parties as the verifications of Form 34A and 34B is going on. And as the chair of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, Wafula Chebukati, had indicated yesterday, is that the returning officers have started coming to this particular place, bringing the physical forms of Form 34A and 34B, which are then being verified by the IEBC official, and thereafter the report is written and handed over to the chair, who is Wafula Chebukati, who is able to then declare the results. As of now, what you can see on the screens that are inside the auditorium is that William Ruto is leading with about 50.63%, followed by Raila Odinga at 48.29%, and then we have George Wajakoya at 0.79%, and Wahiga David Maure at 0.26%. Well, Curia, with Aaron Chariot, who is also here at the auditorium, to just get his views on how they've seen the process going on, and to also give us his observation. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Yes, what's your observation so far?
Well, so far so good. I'm satisfied with the process this far. I like what IBC is doing. When the constituency returning officer arrives with Form 34A, which are the forms of the station, and the collated results from the constituency, the 34Bs, they take one station. We have our agents placed there. So far, I think they have verified up to 16 constituencies, and out of those, we haven't found any discrepancy with what we have at our other tallying centers, our own. That is at the party headquarters and our presidential command center. So basically, we are satisfied with the process this far. The only concern is the speed at which this is being done. It's quite slow. IBC have promised us that this morning, you can see there are about, I think, 7 or 8 workstations. They have said they want to increase them to 12 so that the work can move in a bit faster. I'm told a good number of returning officers have actually arrived with their results. They're now just waiting to get a table so that they can begin the verification process. So far the process is thorough. It meets the threshold of what a proper scrutiny of a free and fair election, at least up to this far. What I have seen, I am satisfied, and I hope we stay that way up to the 291st constituency. Then the election winner can be declared.
Mm-hmm. I believe you're representing Kenya Kwanza. So how are the results so far on your side?
They have all tallied with what we have at our... We have 3 independent verifying centers of our own who have sent us results from the 46,000 plus polling stations across the country. We have done our tallies. We know we have won, but we await the decision. The election has to be called by IEBC. The thing that we are happy about is that up to now there hasn't been a single variation between what was reported at the polling station and what is being brought here. We hope that there had been fears and rumors yesterday that probably somebody may try to change or do the other. But up to this point, there is nothing of the sort that we have seen. So what you have seen brought here is exactly what was announced at the polling station up to this point, and we are satisfied, and we hope it stays that way until the end.
Mm-hmm. Comparing this election to the previous elections, how would you rate the level of transparency that the IEBC has given different political parties?
What I would say, the thing that sets this election apart is the decision to upload the Form 34As from the polling station immediately counting was done. That public portal of the 46,229 Form 34As, the minute they were made public, it made life very difficult. You remember, if you go back, and you can go back to 2007, 2013, even 2017, there were all these issues about, oh no, this is not what was announced at the polling station. But immediately you count and you upload. At that point, many people hadn't thought about, oh, you need to change this. You know that the little games that the different people who try to sabotage elections do is that once they do the independent tally and they realize they are short of, like, this is a close election, that's the truth. We know our candidate has won, but it's not with a very big margin. So you find people try to be mischievous and say, oh, if you can get raise 1,000 here and the other, they try and piece them together. In this election, that's nearly impossible because of the uploading of the 34 is immediately counting was done at the polling stations, and that has been what has made this election safer. The only issue, and there was a meeting last night between our agents and IEBC, and this matter came up, is what will happen when there is a discrepancy between a physical form brought here and the uploaded one. The law, as per the IEBC Act that we passed, this must be around, I think, the 2016 one, is that when there is a discrepancy between the electronically transmitted one and the physically brought here, the returning officer, that's the chairman of IEBC, has a legal obligation to verify and find that which represents what was announced at the polling station. And that is what will carry the day. Of course, there'll be a whole process about it, calling of agents, seeing the copies that agents were handed. Remember, all agents were handed copies of the 34s is in at least most of the stations, not all of them. In certain places, there were difficulties here and there. But in most of the stations, that's what was given. That has made life extremely difficult for anyone who tries to manipulate this election. So once that matter was determined yesterday, and the chair said we will take it through a thorough audit so that we establish why there's a variation between the form that was announced at the polling station and what was uploaded to the portal. And of course, what is announced at the portal also has a timestamp and other security features. So it's more difficult and nearly impossible to tamper with than the physical one. Though even the physical one, part of what is being done here is to check many of these, all these forms actually have got very high-level security features, watermarks that are hidden and the rest, which to sit down and have the master to have the presence of mind to carry out a forgery of the same is not something very easy. But we know that we are facing people who might not easily want to concede, so we will remain to be vigilant. Yeah.
You've seen also early celebration. What does this indicate from different what political parties?
I don't know. It could just be the political play. Everybody's trying to psych up their supporters. You don't want to be seen as if you gave up early. But between us and them, they know the truth. That's why you saw the drama of the things they were trying to do. They're making life impossible for IEBC staff. Remember, when their candidate, when the tally that is being done independently by media had their candidate leading, they didn't have a problem. But later, when the process moved almost to completion, they started saying the media houses have been hacked. So it tells you that they know the truth. Once they raise a complaint against the media, I can tell you, I know for a fact, and that's why I have come here this early, that in the next few hours, you'll see them coming to try and disorient IEBC. But we want to plead with IEBCs to stay firm and not accept to be intimidated by anyone. Let them just do their job independently.
Okay, as we wind up, how many agents does Kenya Kwanza have at this auditorium?
That's the other issue. That's the other issue. The reason you can see the desks are empty is that most of our agents, about maybe 30 of them, they have worked the last 24 hours without taking a break. We have agents who are waiting outside, but the accreditation process is quite difficult. So we have people willing to come and do the job, but they don't have IEBC accreditation. Nobody foresaw that it was going to take this long to do a verification. So if IEBC can quickly verify our agents who are outside, we will begin the verification. As it is right now, you can see people are idling on the tables.
You're the only agent around so far?
No. I'm not an agent. I'm an observer. But our agents are seated on the table, those who have been able to change shift. But there's a bigger group that is outside who haven't been accredited. And I guess that goes for both sides of the divide. You can see that's why the tables are empty. That's why the returning officers are sleeping on the chairs, because there is no desk that has been set up for them to begin their work. If that can be sorted, it will make this work a bit more easier.
Have you raised that with the IEBC?
Yeah. They're addressing it. They've said they're working on accreditation of all those agents. Like I've told you, they also want to increase the workstations. They want to move it to about 12 workstations, so that every swoop they do 12. Remember, they have 291 91 or 92 292 stations, and as we speak they have done only 12. So there's a whole 280, and I think they've announced only 6 or 7, if I'm not wrong. So there's a whole day of work ahead of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, John, Jacob, Courier, and Victor, as well as Jane, as you've heard from Aaron Cheriot, just giving us a breakdown from the Kenya Kwanza side on how they're seeing things here at the auditorium at the Bomas of Kenya, which is the now center for the IEBC, saying that right now the only problem they're experiencing is that some of their agents and observers have been locked out of the gate because they do not have accreditation, and they're now calling on the IEBC to step up and try to find a solution for that. As we had shown you the pictures here at the auditorium, is that we are able to see a couple of IEBC officials already here at the main center where they're supposed to be in order to verify the forms 34A and 34B, as some of the returning officers have already arrived even as of yesterday, and we continue to await to get now the official communication from the chair, who is Wafula Chebukati, to get to understand how many constituencies have already, how many returning officers from a different constituency have been able to arrive at this particular place, and how many of those Form 34A and 34B have been able to be verified. As I had told you earlier on, is from the screens here at the Bomas of Kenya, is that we are able to see that William Ruto is leading with a 50.63%, followed by Raila Odinga at 48.29%, and then George Wajakoya at 0.79%, and Wahiga David Maure at 0.26%. Well, we'll continue to follow up on the updates that are being put on the display screens, and we'll be able to update you as we await for the chair, Wafula Chebukati, and the other commissioners to come and address us. Back to you, Courier.
Good one. You've talked to Aaron Cheriot of Kenya Kwanza. I see Paul Mwangi behind you. Probably at a link later, you can try also get Paul Mwangi to speak to us also about the process and how they think the process is faring. If it is possible now, but of course I see he's a little bit far. It is not possible to get him, but probably later you can get him. But as I let you go, Sarafina, looking at the process, because you're witnessing what is ongoing, how do you estimate, or when do you estimate this process will end, in your own estimation?
Well, from what we heard from the chair of IBC, who is Wafula Chebukati, yesterday, he was able to tell us that they are expecting to have all the returning officers to come with the forms 34A and 34B to this particular place, bring the forms, and then thereafter they will be verified from this particular place. Then after verification, they'll be able to record them, and then after they're recorded, they'll be able to do an analysis so as to get to determine for the presidential results whoever will win, on whether they've been able to attain the 50 plus 1 vote, and also if they've been able to get half of at least 24 constituencies, they've been able to win from at least half of the votes from at least 24 counties. And therefore this means that since we've not been able to see all the returning officers yet to arrive here at the Bomas of Kenya, this means then that we expect them to come today, which is on Friday, and maybe the verification will take place today and tomorrow probably, and thereafter maybe we expect the results to be declared either on Saturday, Sunday or Monday, given that the chair, Wafula Chebukati, was able to tell us that they have a timeline of about 7 days to declare the results from the original voting day, which was on the 9th, Tuesday. So this will probably be either from tomorrow, from Saturday or Sunday or Monday.
You have a question for